Welcome to Cottage Talk Full Time. I'm Russ Goldman. Joining me right now is Emilio Donnell and Fulham legend Rob Wilson. This is our initial reaction show to Fulham's 1-1 draw against Tottenham Hotspur at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. There is a lot to talk about in this initial reaction show. And boy, I have a lot on my mind. I'm sure my co-hosts have a lot on their mind. Emilio, I'm going to go to you first. Here's the title. Well-deserved point for Fulham. But should it have been a victory the way Fulham played overall in this match, especially in the second half? Your thoughts, your opening reaction.
Who would have thought that, eh? I think how many of us gave Fulham a chance to get anything out of the game and say, okay, Rob, we messaged this morning. You did predict a 1-1 draw. You did predict it. So I'll give you credit for that. But overall, we matched them. You know, we passed the ball well. We were composed. We looked good. We looked solid. You know, Tottenham, I think, on the balance of that first half, maybe deserved that goal. I think that goal was coming. But overall, that second half performance, you know, literally, we bossed that second half. You know, Mourinho had made no technical substitutions to offset that. We kept growing into the game second half, got that deserved equaliser, great header. And I thought with a bit more composure, a bit more quality when it counted in that last 10 minutes, we could have gone and won that game. You know, it's weird. I actually feel disappointed that we didn't win the game. And I don't know what the other fans think. Yes, we've got to be proud that the team got the draw away from home against a top 6 team, a Champions League team. But on the balance of play, especially that second half performance in that first 25 minutes, I think we should be disappointed we didn't get all 3 points.
It's funny that you said that. And when you talked to me about this before we went live, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put that in the title because the more I think about it, we played better. We were the better football inside. Rob, let's talk about it. I want to get your initial reaction to this match. And we were talking about off air about some of the commentary that we were hearing about the Fulham were the better footballing side. So give me your initial reaction to what we watched today.
Yeah, just echo what Emilio said there. Yeah, first 23, 24 minutes, we were more than in the game. You know, we matched them. I can't remember Kane or any forward sort of decent passage of play from them.
Right.
And then obviously they got the goal. It was a great goal. It was a great cross. If I was hypercritical, I would have said, I think Tete should do a little bit better to try and stop the cross. And I think Tosin, you know, gets caught in between him and Anderson, Kane. But it's a magical cross. And, you know, I just think if we were being hypercritical, I think Scott would probably look and thought we could have done a little bit better on the defensive side. But hey, listen, we stayed in the game there. They did boss it for the last 15 minutes of the first half, but second half, there's only been one team in it. And Andy Townsend, what I was watching on commentary and we were talking off air, Tim Howard out in America said exactly the same. Fulham did what Tottenham usually do to most teams and play through the lines. Fulham were the better side by far. And as I say, with a bit of composure, with with Cammy coming on, and we all know he's we never know what he's going to do. He don't know what he's going to do. A little bit more composure there, we might have got that ball to look.
There was that opportunity late. If you just looked and
he was there. You know, we a lot of people stood up tonight, and I've got to hold my hand up here and say Loftus-Cheek. You know, he played very well tonight.
He did.
It was probably my man of the match, if I was honest.
Okay.
I thought he played very well. He played some great composure. He was good on the ball. He made us. And then Townsend kept mentioning it in commentary that if he plays 10, he has to come to the floor, you know. And he did, to be fair. He maybe should have done better with his chance. He just let it run across his body a little bit too much. And he ended up taking it a little bit wider. But hey, listen, what a fantastic performance. I mean, Scott can be proud of that. You know, Mourinho didn't look happy. And yes, your title says, should we have done? Slightly disagree. I think we could have. You know, let's see. This is Fulham here, but it's another draw. It's another point on the. But more importantly, it's the manner in which we're playing, and it continues that rich vein of form.
Okay, maybe I should have used the word could instead of should. I understand that, Rob. All right, let's go and just look at the first half. And Emilio, I'll go to you because Fulham were the better side in the early stages of the first half, but then Tottenham came into the match. So I want to get your analysis of the first half before the goal, and then we'll talk about the goal from Harry Kane, which was an excellent goal and just a great cross.
Yeah, just we were organised as always, keeping the ball well. We passed it sweetly. You know, we didn't look. You know, how to say in any level of fear. To be honest, we went there in a big stadium. We hadn't played for 2.5 weeks in the Premier League, so I thought that was going to be a concern. But it just seemed the players just came on and played seamlessly well. Tet came back in, looked comfortable. Cavallero had some nice silky touches at times.
Yep.
I know he's had a lot of criticism. Maybe not being offensive, not scoring enough goals and not having enough quality. But he had some nice touches, some good flicks, some good back heels and all that. I thought Cavallero had a reasonably good game. Obviously scored a goal, so let's give him some credit where it's due. But that first 20 odd minutes, I thought we looked comfortable. We didn't look threatening, but then slowly Tottenham started to sort of start getting into the game. Robinson got caught out a few times. I think maybe we were pushing up a little bit too much, and Robinson was going caught out of position a couple of times too often. And I thought you just smelt something. You thought growing into the game.
I agree.
Header from Arriola, top class save, but I thought that was offside. Now I don't know what I didn't see any linesman rule that out for offside. I think they got a corner off the back of that. So to me, I thought the refereeing linesman decisions were a little bit controversial throughout the game. I thought some of them should have been more offside decisions. But overall, that first 20 odd minutes, we looked comfortable. But it was disappointing that Tottenham took that lead. But then they grew more into the game. And to be honest, maybe they could have scored a second goal as well. So I think we went into half time probably deservedly 1-0 down on the balance of play and the chances created. But overall, there was nothing to be ashamed about. I think we're playing. Don't forget, we're playing a top 4, top 6 team, so we can't be hypercritical. I know a lot of fans are saying we should be better. We should have better quality strikers. But this is Fulham, a team that got promoted from the Championship. Let's just remember where we've come from, and it's just iterative steps. But overall, I was disappointed to go 1-0 down at half time. I thought, but Tottenham showed their class when it counted, didn't they? Let's be honest. And Harry Kane's goal was top draw, very top draw goal.
Okay, very good. And Rob, I want to go to you, and I want to get your thoughts on Kane's goal and then Fulham's reaction after that. And again, to Emilio's point, Tottenham could have scored another goal, or as they were talking about during the broadcast, could have scored a third goal. So he scores, but I thought Fulham's response was okay, but I thought Fulham, again, it was good to get to the half down 1-0. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, as we say, I think the goal was a great cross. I mean, as I said earlier, I think I'd be disappointed that the fullback Tete didn't get a bit closer, and then the defensive two, Anderson and Tosin, didn't really mark. But it's a world class cross and a world class header, which is the only time Kane was probably in the game in that first 25 minutes. I mean, Aurelia's made a good save from Song with his feet earlier on, and as you said, the header, the save for the goal. I'd rather that had got in, because I think it would have gone to VAR and been offside. We've not seen a second shot of it, but my impression was it was offside.
That was offside.
If you look at the half-time tunnel camera with Scott having a discussion with the linesman, I'd imagine that conversation would have been over that decision on why was it a corner when it could have been flagged for offside. If it had been a goal and gone to VAR, it probably would have been offside. But, we weathered the storm. We were more than in the game for 25 minutes. Yes, they came back into it for 20 before the break. But, we went on to show our resilience in the second half and really outplay them.
Absolutely.
Really outplay them.
Absolutely. And now let's transition. Let's talk about the second half. And Emilio, I'll just get your overall thoughts on the second half. Again, Fulham looked like the better side throughout. And let's just talk about how Fulham were playing. Again, I think we have to mention Lookman coming on. I thought that was a good move, and I thought that changed things a little bit. So let's talk about the second half performance before we get to talking about the goal for Fulham. Let's just talk about the lead up towards that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was frenetic that first couple of minutes. We had it. We attacked straight from the off, and then within 30 seconds, Tottenham went the other. So it was very much, end to end for the first 5-10 minutes, wasn't it? It was very exciting, good football, both teams. From a neutral's perspective, you wouldn't, both teams looked like they were top 6, top 8 teams. I think it was good quality passing, good defending from both teams. But we got at them. I think that was the key thing. It looked like we were the home team there today. I think Tottenham lacked, some invention there. If Son and Kane are not in the game, then they lacked that quality, to be honest. And we exposed that. We took the game at them. I think I was saying to you, Rob, and Steve Reynolds before the game, this is Loftus-Cheek's chance to make an impression, and don't be surprised he steps up. And it's exactly, I think I agree with Rob. He had a very, very good game today. And But we did in that first half. I thought we missed Lookman. I thought he could have caused more problems if he was starting in the first half. I think don't be surprised we could have gone in level pegging because he came on and made a difference. The pace, the quality of the cross for the goal, the excellent finish from Cavallero. But overall, possession-wise, I think there were periods of time that the Amazon Prime was showing that we had 70% possession compared to their 30%. And this is us playing in a big stadium, big team, a team that's cost hundreds of millions of pounds, and yet we made them look very, very average, to be honest. Yep. And Jose Mourinho, that's what you get for opening your mouth a couple of days ago, complaining about Fulham. That we cancelled the game 2 years. That's what you get. Stick it right back where it hurts, to be honest. So it's I'm very pleased, but I wasn't disappointed. We could have got a win, but that's a bit of closure. Where it counted. If we had, I saw some comments. If we had Mitrovic instead of maybe Loftus-Cheek in that position, maybe that we would have had more chance to have scored a goal there at the end. But overall, we've got to be very proud of the team. Good substitutions from Scott. He made them at the right time, and that made a difference. Lookman looked class when he came on.
Okay, Rob, I'm going to give you the honors of talking about the Fulham goal. And can I just say this? I felt like it was coming, believe it or not, and I thought it was well deserved that we scored this goal. Great cross from Lookman, and I thought he made a difference. Let's talk about Cav's goal.
Yeah, as I say, I think the build up to that, I think the stats did show we were something like 69, 31% for that 10-minute period. And then we went on to get the goal just after that. Nice play by Lookman. His trickery when he's out wide there, he's always going to get half a chance of getting behind the fullback and getting to byline, getting crosses in. And Cav's done well there. That's a hard header to swivel in the air and get some neck power in that to get it down. He's done well. Because he's obviously not known for his heading prowess, but that's a fantastic finish. You'd be, if you were a centre forward, if that were Mitrovic, you'd be applauding about it. But, he's a wide player that's having to play a roaming sort of false number 9 role, intermittent with Bobby Reid. So it was a great goal and thoroughly deserved. And as I say. And after that, we went, we didn't just sit back for 1-1. We actually went for it with Kamara coming on, and his first touch gets behind. I don't know whether he went to pick out Robinson. It's a half a good touch from Robbo. It's just got away from him. But if you look at the defending from the Tottenham players, there's 4 of them smothering him as he takes that shot, And then Cammy, obviously, minutes later, again, should get his head up a little bit and play it to Lookman. And,
exactly, he was there.
We got another shot on goal, but. I thought the game management, we saw the game out very well. There was only going to be one winner in the end. It wasn't going to be Tottenham.
Yeah.
If anyone was going to win the game, it was us.
Yeah. That's my point with the title. It was going to be Fulham, Rob, even though, again, we have the situation at the end. But Fulham were completely the better side throughout the second half.
Yeah, by far. And as we said earlier, commentators, on what I heard, applauded us to say, I didn't listen to Hoddle or Owen afterwards on the telly, but Andy Townsend was saying that we were the much better side and we played very well between the lines. We broke very well. You look at their midfield. What did Winks do through the game? Reed and Anguissa were all over them. They were just smothered them completely. We were breaking well. We were interchanging. We had transitions was very good. We were compact. We defended well. More so in the second half than the first half, but that's been coming because this is our 7th game on the trot where we've looked a lot more assured, and people are starting to stand up now. Pundits who knocked us after the Arsenal defeat, first game of the season, are slowly eating their words now and saying that Fulham have got a chance now to stay up, and we have.
Absolutely, Rob. I think we have a very good chance. And to end the show, we're going to talk about your biggest takeaway, but. Coming up next, I'm going to get your thoughts, both of you, on who was your man of the match. Rob's already said that, but we'll talk about that again, and then we'll get the biggest takeaway to come out of this match. Okay, Emilio, over to you. Give me your man of the match.
Oh, good. It's difficult, really, to be honest. I thought Loftus-Cheek, I think, had probably his best game for Fulham. I think, I was expecting him to show up today, and I thought he did extremely well. Some nice touches. He looked strong. Looked fit as well. I thought defensively, Adebayo did look very, very strong. That beautiful tackle in the penalty area in that first half. Or was it? I can't remember if it was first or second half. I think it was in the first half. Excellent tackle, and mistimed that by 2%, that would have been a penalty. But that's a world class, tackle there to defend in the penalty area. But I'm really struggling, to be honest. It's either Loftus-Cheek or Adebayo. I think Adebayo deserves some credit for his saves as well. So it's a difficult choice, really, to be honest. If I'm going to stick my neck out, I'm going to give it to Tosin at the back. I don't think he put a foot wrong.
Okay, you're going with Tosin. Rob, you've already said Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Do you think that, again, this is a step in the right direction for him? Listen, he has not played to the level that we all thought. Is this a sign, hopefully, that he is now coming around to the player that we hope he'll be for the rest of the season?
Yeah, most definitely. And I've been probably one of his main critics over the last sort of 6-7 games, and probably, justified in some cases. But, we expect him to come to the mantle. He's proven in the past what a type of player he is. We've not seen that. Gradually we're seeing. And I just touch on what Emilio says there. I thought his fitness looked, I know that we haven't played since 26th of December, but I think his fitness, he looked stronger in and out of possession, both with and without the ball. He looked a different player than he did against Southampton, 3 weeks ago. So I think, obviously, with isolation and training on their own and the COVID and this, that, and the other, they've all had to do their own bit. But, tonight was what I would have expected to see from Loftus many games ago. But it's nice to see it tonight, and hopefully now we can step up and go on now and have a bit of consistency. And again, as Emilio said, we defended very well. The two centre-halves, again, are looking a partnership that's made in heaven compared to the first 3 or 4 games of the season. And we've got a keeper behind us that is, a world-class shot stopper when it's there for him. But overall, I'd give it to Loftus, and I just hope he has the confidence now to go on and build on his performance tonight.
Okay, I'm just going to share some comments of
the only downside is he won't be playing against Chelsea. Obviously.
That's right.
So he gets a good bit of form, and then he obviously has to have a rest.
I've got a good amount that are saying Areola, but of course, Giannis chimes in. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I've got a lot that are saying Areola. Yes, and he cannot play against Chelsea. So yes, I understand that. Okay, great stuff, guys. All right, to end the show, I want to get your biggest takeaway, and I'll just share what mine is. And Rob, you kind of already touched on this. My biggest takeaway is I think Fulham is starting to earn some respect amongst not just other teams, other managers, I think by the press as well. I think Fulham is starting to earn the respect. That's my biggest takeaway to come out of this result. It's a 1-1 draw. And like you said, we're hearing commentators talk about that Fulham with the better footballing side against Spurs. What's your biggest takeaway?
Who's first?
Rob.
Me first. Sorry, Russ. As we've discussed, I mean, it's just another polished performance, I think, probably over 70, 75 minutes, whereas we're not renowned for doing a 90-minute performance, Fulham. But I think other than the 20 minutes before the first half, we're well into 45 in that second half. It takes us up to 70 minutes where we are in control, playing against a top four side who've cost £200-300 million, at their ground. And we've made them look, very average at times.
That's right.
And as you say, many a punter, and I'm sure the media tomorrow will be applauding us to the way we performed. And we didn't park the bus, and Mourinho can't come out and say anything like that. I would have thought I haven't seen his interviews yet, but I would hope he'd come out and give Scott and his staff and his team, all the plaudits they deserve. That they actually done a Tottenham, Fulham done a Tottenham, what Tottenham have done to many a team this season, and we just keep building on that week by week. Yes, it's only a draw; it's another point. But it's the confidence as sooner or later we will win 2 games on the trot.
I agree.
Not just the 1 win and then a draw. We'll win 2 on the bounce, and no better start than doing it on Saturday against some team that lives down the road.
Well, you know what? I think Fulham have a shot to get something from that match. Dare I say win it, but I look forward to previewing that match. All right, Emilio, your biggest takeaway.
Yeah, and before I answer that question, I think the thing I'd like to comment as well is what happened tonight is when we play against so-called bigger teams who are more expensive, top 6, but give us freedom to play on the pitch, like Liverpool did, for example. Liverpool didn't respect us well enough. We took the game, and again, we came away disappointed only to get a draw from that game. But then we go to the likes of Brighton a few days later in a very bored draw where Brighton defended well. They gave us little space. So I think where we've got the freedom of space on the pitch, it felt like, they gave us the opportunity to play the football, and we actually, we defended and we played very positively throughout. So I think we've got a tendency to play better against the bigger teams who allow us to play, like the Tottenhams, like the Liverpools a month or so ago.
Okay, that's a good point.
No,
is that a concern of you that we can play a certain way against the bigger clubs, but when we don't have the space, we struggle a little bit?
Another example, Leicester City. Maybe they didn't respect us that well that game, but they gave us the opportunity to play football and play the way we like to play, the Scott Parker way. And again, Leicester got punished, Liverpool got punished, and so did Spurs tonight. So that's just something I think I want to just raise again. But my biggest takeaway is the fact that we've got our first point from behind this season. How many games?
That's a great point.
So for me, is now we've always had a tendency, if we take the lead, we protect the lead and or don't lose that game. I think for the first time this season, we've managed to come from behind and grab a point. So that's a big takeaway from me. We've broken a few negative records that all I keep hearing Amazon Prime talk about today was from 13 consecutive London derby defeats in the Premier League. Well, that's a record that's gone.
Okay,
we haven't got a point, from behind. That record's gone as well. But there was never any focus that we dominate against Liverpool. We haven't conceded from open play in so many hours. None of those stats were ever mentioned by the pundit. And that's what's really frustrating me. Is that, so maybe to your point, Russ, we are getting more respect from the press. People are liking the way we're playing football. We're playing professionally, elegantly. If we can get a striker and be a little bit more clinical where it counts, and maybe just, again, that first half, I think what we haven't commented on the first half is that final ball.
Yeah, the final ball was poor.
We dominate the first 20 minutes. We looked comfortable, but what was lacking was that final cross, that decent quality where it counts. So if we can address those two areas of weaknesses, and I think we've got all opportunities to push on. My biggest takeaway is the fact that we now know how to recover from a deficit and actually pick some points up. And to be honest, like you said on your highlight at the beginning of the show, maybe we should have come away with all 3 points with a bit more quality and composure. Okay,
that's great stuff. And I'm going to leave everyone with this. It's funny because I've been inundated with Jose Mourinho talk, and I actually look forward to hearing what he has to say after this match because, again, maybe he should be giving an apology to Scott Parker after the way that he's been talking. How about giving an apology to Scott Parker? He wants an apology. How about you give an apology to Scott Parker? Because he took you to school today. It might just be a 1-1 draw, but Fulham were the better side. All right. Great show, guys. We will have a post-match show hopefully tomorrow, and then we'll have a preview coming up as well of the Chelsea match. But let's wrap this up. For Fulham legend Rob Wilson and Emilio Danell, I'm Russ Goldman. Thank you as always for watching and listening to Cottage Talk.